Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, we're going to be talking about the single most important thing related to getting max output out of artificial intelligence. If you want good results, if you want good output, you need to master this skill. It's something that a lot of people talk about, but I don't see many people emphasizing how to do it correctly. So in this video, we're going to break down prompt engineering and we're going to explain what it is and how you can execute it, regardless if you're talking to a chatbot, if you're building an automation in a tool like Clay, or if you are building a custom AI build into a business. So AI means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I just gave a couple of different examples. At the core of most of artificial intelligence is prompting, and that's simply how we use natural language to get an output from a large language model, from a neural network, depending on the output that we're looking for. It might be a video, it might be an image, but prompt engineering is at the core and at the heart of all artificial intelligence. So this subject can get pretty complicated and people can overcomplicate it, actually, in my opinion. And as a matter of fact, OpenAI, who is kind of the pioneer of prompting, they put out a pretty significant document about how to get the most out of prompting with GPT-5. I suggest reading it. It's good information. However, what I'm about to teach you will be more effective than that and take less time than that and take less knowledge than that. So what a lot of people do, and let's just go ahead and go over to ChatGPT. I'm just going to change it to auto right now just for the sake. And since we're doing this for the video, I'm just not going to save it. So what a lot of people do when they are prompting is they will just talk to it like they're thinking out loud. So for example, if someone is interested in doing some research on, let's just say, okay, so I'm running an AI business, right? So let's just say I want to know what are the top tools or what are the top ways AI is being implemented into a business. So there's levels to prompting, right? First one could be, this is literally what people do. You might do it too, and it's okay if so, but we're going to teach you how to do it better. Top tools businesses are using AI for in their business. Okay, that probably isn't worded correctly. Top ways businesses are adding AI into their business. So they basically treat it like a Google search, okay? And then they do the trends and, then you get this response. Okay, that's cool. That's not a terrible response, I guess. Well, we're about to find out if it's terrible or not. At a high level, it's not bad. It's basically a Google search. So, if you're doing just a Google search, you just want surface level information, type into ChatGPT like you're going to Google. The next step is, and we're going to do the same thing, top ways businesses, excuse my typing, are adding AI into their business. I'm not even going to fix that. Okay, and then maybe they'll do the thinking model. Okay, great. And then you'll get, it'll think for a bit. It'll probably do a little bit of research, I would imagine. And then it's going to give us some output that is, subpar and mediocre. I'm not going to wait to get this answer because, well, actually, let me just open up a new tab. Okay, so the next step up, I always recommend using thinking if you're trying to get, some sort of depth in your answer. This is interesting. Yeah, this is a much more detailed reply, obviously, than the straight up model. Now, the next tool would be top way businesses are adding AI into their business, but we're going to do web search. It's bothering me. Okay, and so when you turn on search, basically what it's going to do is it acts like a RAG model. So what a RAG model does is it references certain sources to make sure what it's citing is the truth. And when you're doing search, you're basically forcing it to do exactly that. And so what it's going to do is it's going to think like it did on the last answer, but it's also going to start searching and it's going to start trying to figure out, okay, where's the top information for this question? Well, here's a step up from even that. So this is really what this video is all about. And just by the way, AI is the most important technology of our lifetimes. The better you can use AI, the better your life is going to be. And it might just make your life more convenient if you're using it for your day-to-day. It might make you better at your job and allow you to grow in that position. If you're running a business, I don't even need to explain. It is the most important thing you can be focusing on and learning and utilizing. So what I'm getting at is the output you get out of AI is going to be directly proportional to the quality of your life, to your business, to your job, etc. So this is an important skill to really learn and to try to master. Now let's go check on that last question. Okay, great. Here's a short list I would actually implement in priority order. So, okay, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid reply. Yeah, this is pretty solid. Okay, great. But here's how you actually want to do prompting, guys. This is how we're actually going to do prompting in ChatGPT. So the way you do prompting in any sort of LLM chatbot is you have the chatbot create the prompt. So create a prompt. And by the way, there's more to this, so stick with me because it's not just that. So create a prompt for ChatGPT to answer. Boom. Okay. And so then what we do is we basically prompt it to create a prompt that I can ask. However, it's important to specify what it is that you're asking. So, for example, there's different modes inside of ChatGPT. So we might do agent mode, we might do deep research mode, we might do create image mode. And so if you're doing deep research, for example, I would go and say create a prompt for ChatGPT. I always do this when I'm doing any of these. Create a prompt for ChatGPT deep research about X, Y, and Z. The more information you give it, like this was a bad prompt, the more information you get it, the better the prompt output is going to be, obviously. Now, I mean, look at this prompt compared to the one that we were just using. So copy and paste this. Boom, let's try it. Okay, and it's going to let it run. But anyways, you can use this any way you want. So if you're doing deep research, create a deep research prompt about boom, 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 boom. Create a prompt for ChatGPT agent surrounding this information. And so I had another video called Context Engineering. The context window is basically whatever you're putting into the chat. So that could be text, that could be documents, that could be images, that could be videos. And the better the context inside of the chatbot, the better the output the AI is going to give you. So you want to give it as much context as possible. Think about it like you are, working with an assistant or an intern and you're training them and you're trying to teach them and they don't know anything, but they're really good at following instructions and following directions. Boom. Give that intern and that assistant direction, give it guidance, give it context, give it documents, give it everything that it needs to be able to create the best output humanly possible. Now let's go check on our, okay, so see, it's still searching. So we're clearly going to get a much better answer. I mean, just by how long it's been searching for, this is going to be a lot more in depth than basically any single, and let's just take a look at some of the notes here. Yeah, I mean, it's going deep. It's going way deeper than any of the other prompts were. So, once again, just look at the output of this prompt. It basically has, it states the job. It states the position that the AI should play. It's going to have rules. You need to be opinionated, no fluff, plain language, short sentences, replace em dashes with commas. If information is missing, state the assumption before proceeding, blah, 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 blah. Output format, keep it crisp. So you can have it, you can direct the output that you want it to have. And it's going to, rank list of, I mean, this is insane. This is so much better than that stupid little prompt that I was posting. And close with a 10-step action plan any operator can execute immediately. Use tables where useful. Keep the answer under 1,200 words. So, once again, this is how you would speak to an intern. If you were training an intern and you were training an assistant, you would give it all of this information. You would be detailed, you would be direct, you would not be super concise and just do a Google search. Oh, give me information about this. That's the old way. And it did work with Google because you couldn't prompt it further. Like, better Google searches rarely led to better output, which is a big differentiator between a tool like ChatGPT and Google. Google, it's really indexing keywords is essentially what it's doing. And now you could make the argument that ChatGPT and AI is doing the same thing. It's indexing keywords, but it's a lot different and it's a lot more in depth the way that it does it. So at the end of the day, you need to be able to be prepared to give it the context necessary. Now let's look at this output. So, I mean, look, I don't even need to show you anymore. You can already see, and I know it's a little bit blurry for you guys, but you can already see just how much better this is and how much more detailed this is. I mean, it's crazy. This is like a completely different answer than what we were just focusing on. I mean, this is insane. So that alone, I think, pretty much tells you, I mean, the way that you prompt these models is to simply have the tool make the prompt. Give it as much context as possible, and you will be a prompt engineering master. Okay. And also, if you're trying to prompt for a tool, like let's say you're trying to prompt for Clay AI or like or Suno Music or Midjourney or, one of these other tools, you can use ChatGPT to say, hey, create a prompt for X and then use the web search feature. It'll go read all the documentation of that tool. Boom, you have a great prompt for that tool. So this is Prompt Engineering 101. This is the easiest way to get the best prompts possible. I need you to like and subscribe and leave a comment on what you're struggling with AI so I can make a video on how to help you, whether it's your job, your life, or your business. And by the way, if you do have a business, I audit businesses and I build custom AI solutions into them. So book a call below. With that said, I got a great video coming out tomorrow, so be sure to check back in. Thanks so much for your time. Peace.